So imagine you're some bloke and you want to get through a door, but you don't want to use your hands. You just want to go near it and have the door open for you and stay open until you get to the other side, and then open the other way when you come through the other way. In a world where doors open, let's add a microchip, because never leave home without a microchip. And we'll open that microchip like that, put it over there. We actually need a joint on this, so let's go like that. Have a bolt, and we'll use the grid to get that upright. Oh, 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 oh. Oh yeah. Someone needs to make that Dreams minigame. Trying to rotate a thing. Cool, so now we can open it and stuff. Okay, so we've got this set up here with a puppet and a wall that is clearly insurpassable. How can we get through the wall apart from using the door with a bolt on it? Now we'll make a timeline, and we use beats mode by clicking on there. So we can have a perfect middle. We got the beats mode like that. So let's record just using the left trigger, L2. Now we can put that in the center, and then we'll have that open this way, like that, and have that open this way, like that. And then we will arrange these nicely. Oh. It doesn't matter the length or duration of this timeline, because we'll be controlling the timeline manually. And we'll add these in between them using L1 and X between them. That means as the playhead goes through, it'll, as you can see down there, put that there. As the playhead goes through, it kind of blends between those positions like that. Cool. Now we're going to use a timer to set the playhead. So if you aren't aware, you can set the playhead using a wire by wiring it straight into there. And now 0, we'll put it at the left side, 1 puts it at the end, and any value in between, we'll just set it to that position. So initially we and also if you use this output, plug that in there, then over time that outputs the percentage of that the timer is at. So at the start it's at 0, at the end it's 1, and in the middle it's 0.5, like that, of this target time. So we'll just make this target time like 2 seconds. And if we set this to being in the middle point, it will be start off sending 0.5. So we can plug that in there, and it will work the same. So if we go like that, it starts from the center and plays to the end, like that. Another feature of the timer is that it has these modes, and one of them is positional. Positional mode means you send it a percentage of the target time you want to get to, and it plays time until it gets there. So if I put it on 0.5 and send that into the play with the positional mode, then it will stay there. But then if I go to 0, it will rewind time until it gets to 0. If I set it to 1, it will play time until it gets to the full 100%. So we're going to use that function. So let's add a trigger zone, square trigger zone. We want to know if we're on this side or that side. So we'll just put a trigger zone over here. If we're in there, then we know we're not over there, kind of thing. So let's use the grid. That's smack dab in the middle. Nice. I have a second trigger zone. That will just be when we're in the range of the door. So let's go like that. Like that. So that the door doesn't close or try to open the wrong way again. But this is going to go all the way through like that. And we're going to use that to kind of freeze this value. So we'll use that, we'll plug it in there, and we will use that to freeze the output. So if we're on this side and next to the door, which is around here, let's look at it from the top. So if we're on this side and we are close to the door around here, then it will freeze the fact that we are coming from this side, and yeah, that won't change. So let me just set up this other bit here. So this is what's actually going to be sent to our timer. We're going to take in -1 to 1, and we're going to send between 0 and 1, and we're going to plug that into there. So now we can say we can send this a -1, and it will make it play until it gets to the beginning of the timeline, so it'll open the door one way. And if we send it +1, then it will play to the other end of the timeline and open the door the other way. That's the general idea. So we want to, when we're in this side, we want to have -1. No, we want to have 1. And then when we're on this side, we want to send -1. That's why we can go into the custom remapper, and instead of, so 1 is over here, and we want that to be 1, but then over here that's 0 from the trigger zone, and we want that to be -1. But we also, even while that trigger zone is detecting stuff, we want to send 0 out of here. So we don't want to send -1 when we're, say, if we play time and we're over here. That trigger zone is not detecting anything, so it's sending a 0, which is getting converted into a -1, but we just want to send 0. So unless we're in that area there. So we want this to also power the signal manipulator, because if the signal manipulator is unpowered, it will send a 0 by default. So now we can plug that into there. So we're receiving between -1 for over here and +1 for over there, and 0 if you're not near the door. And then we convert it into something the timer can use, a percentage between 0 and 1. And then close that. And then that's sent into the playhead, so it plays accordingly. So now if I just put that there, that there, and then I test like that. So it's staying at the 50% mark, and then when I go near it, it opens that way. But if I was on this side and I go near it, it goes that way. And then it doesn't change because that value is frozen in the signal manipulator until I get out of it, and then I go towards it, and then it tries to open the other way again. So I can move freely back and forth until I move past that kind of area, and that's job done. I'd like to thank Jack Power, Martinity DK, Prism Knight 90 and all my other supporters for making this tutorial possible. If you'd like me to keep making these tutorials and helping creators across the internet, you can find out how to support me in the link in the description. Thanks for your consideration, and I'll see you in the next one.